Hi there. I'm going to start doing some spring cleaning today and get my garden beds prepped for the annuals planting and the vegetables planting. I kind of have to do a little bit of gardening everywhere in my front yard because that's the only place I get adequate sun for a good garden. What I'm going to be working on is this bed right here alongside my driveway, between the raised bed and the edge of the driveway. I usually plant annuals in here as well as these perennials that come back every year. This here is what they call a sedum. It is a succulent, and it gets really pretty big when it's in full foliage and leaf and flowers. It looks kind of like that little bush down there, which of course this is the spring version of the beautifulness that it is in the fall. And that is a middle one there. These have been here for I don't even know how many years, and they really need to be transplanted because they're so thick and full. So I'm going to get started on the one down there and show you a little bit of how I clean that up. This will give you a big idea of how big this is. It probably stands 2 feet tall at its height. These stems are usually covered with a really pretty elongated kind of scooped little leaf that actually will hold water. Some types of the sedums are actually edible, but I don't know if this one is. I haven't done enough research to find out what type this is or how edible it may be. What I do first is kind of just go through, sorry if it's too loud there, kind of go through and just give it a wiggle and see what's loose and what will come loose. Kind of a messy job if you can't tell. And then what doesn't come loose gets pruned. And you can see how buried it gets underneath all the leaves and everything else. So in the springtime, if you want the sun to be able to hit it and get that photosynthesis going, you need to prune some of this back. I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of that and show you. And then you'll get a little bit that'll come with it. I just kind of do that as carnage of the cleanup. Like I said, these are really need to be separated out and thinned out because they are so thick. But yeah, sometimes you'll get those little ones that come with it. Another one. I've done this several times over the years to all of these plants, and as you can tell, this has not hurt them in any way. You can retransplant this somewhere else in your yard if you'd like. I just never have because I haven't had a place that I really felt like I wanted to put them. But this year, after I expanded my garden, I've got some areas that I think I'm ready to expand these to. And there you go. There is the cleaned out sedum. I have another little plant just down there, which reseeded itself somehow because I did not ever transplant that. These three were the original plants. There's actually another teeny tiny little one right about there, but these three were the original ones. So the one that is down there is what they call a volunteer. These are the seed pods for it, and as prolific as these seed pods are, I'm amazed I don't have more of these everywhere, especially along my driveway. But yeah, that one down there just kind of said surprise. I also have in this bed a bunch of irises that came home about the same amount time ago that the sedums did. They're bearded irises, and I have them all along this front part of my driveway, or the side bed here. They are all different colors, also a very hardy bunch. I had them at one time just up and down the side of my driveway here. Some of my favorite colored bearded irises it's called buttered popcorn. I picked them up at a yard sale that somebody had thinned out their beds, and they had these different, I think I ended up with like 12 different colors, varieties. I think I'm only down to about 5 now. I dug them up one year after my mother died, and kind of just ran out of steam and let them sit, and most of them didn't make it, but the ones that did, I ended up replanting here, and yeah, they're all in here now. I have the typical purple and kind of pinkish one. The buttered popcorn is a yellow on yellow. I have one that's like a lighter pinkish, purplish color. I'm also they're growing a lot of crabgrass in here, and I cannot get rid of that stuff. There's even weed cloth under here. I mean, I've really, really tried to get rid of it, but yeah, it just keeps coming through. There's Elsa. Elsa, that's her name. Sitting back there, surveying the world, letting me know when the mailman, the UPS man, the neighbors' dogs are walking by. She's a 4-year-old white German Shepherd. So to give you an update on what it looks like when it's all cleaned out, I still need to get the mulch in there, but I needed to get the crabgrass out, and that's where my little volunteer sedum is, right down there. Pulled out a few of my irises that I need to replant, trying to get the crabgrass out. Something I wanted to show you here is I planted some hollyhocks in here last year, and this little guy made it underneath, so we'll see how that does. I've never planted hollyhocks before, so this will be an interesting experiment to see how this all works out. I have something else in here, and I'm not sure what that is. It was a pretty dark purple, wonderful looking, but I don't even remember what the name of that is called, so yeah, maybe later on somebody out there will be able to tell me what that is. Like I said, I do a lot of my gardening here in my front yard. Let's see if I can, yeah, there's part of it. That's the overhang of the 150-year-old oak tree that sits between my neighbor's house and mine. It is a gorgeous canopy. I absolutely adore the tree, but it absolutely is not the best for growing in shade. Just give you a small peek of my yard. This runs the entire length of the lot, and I have another bed around the corner over there that I tried to put a little bit more cool tolerant vegetables in that can handle a little bit more shade, a little less sunlight. I did onions and lettuces in that bed last year, and they did pretty good. My brassicas too. I think I'm going to move my brassicas a little bit. The cabbage did okay, but my Brussels sprouts and my broccoli didn't do as well as I hoped. So I think I'm going to put them out here along this edge here this year. Well, it was a wonderful day to get all this started and cleaned up. I had a great time doing it. I think I might be winning the battle on the crabgrass. We'll see in a few weeks on how that works. I've added enough mulch over the years. I think it's starting to loosen up enough that I can get the runners from the crabgrass to hopefully get it minimized. Thank you all for joining me today. Have a great one.